Manchester United have had the gift of having many legendary players play for their team. But for everybody has a different player that's been considered one of the best, if not the best of all Manchester United. So who has the best Manchester United starting 11? I will give mine in just a few seconds. What's up, everybody? It's the Sports Code, aka Aiden, and welcome back to another video. This video is going to be about my Manchester United starting 11 from goalkeeper to striker. Who is the best that I believe has played for Manchester United? Who is my all-time Manchester United starting 11? Now, before we get started, there are a few things I do need to mention. One, a lot of my players are from recent history. I know that there are players that have gone on in the 80s and 90s that I just don't have the experience or capability of watching these days. All I can see is highlights, and at the end of the day, that's just not enough for me. Now, don't get me wrong, there will be players that you would expect in there that should be in there. You will see players that in my lifetime I haven't watched, but I just know when I watch them, when I see them, I can tell that they're a different gravy to everybody else. They're just different. They're a different type of player, different sort of player. So there will be great players in this all-time starting 11, and hopefully you guys can agree with some of them. If you do not agree with some of them, let me know which ones you don't agree with, and also leave a comment on who you think is better. I'm more than open to changing it, to be honest, because like I said, I've only started watching football since 2014, so I don't know everything. There are people that will clearly know a lot more than what I do, so I'm all for sharing an opinion and maybe even changing it. So without further ado, please like, subscribe, and let me know your all-time starting 11 in the comments below, or anywhere you can find me. So first off, the goalkeeper position. We have been gifted some fantastic goalkeepers over periods. You've got Van der Sar, you've got Peter Schmeichel, but I'm going to go with David De Gea. Again, a recent player I know, probably surprised many. People will probably go with Van der Sar in this selection, but I just feel like David De Gea, since joining, has been so instrumental to actually keeping us afloat as a club that I have to give him that credit. And plus, he's still in the game, really, so he's still playing for Manchester United. There's so much more we can see out of him, so much more we can expect in the future, and I think that's so important, in my opinion. We have a lot of fantastic goalkeepers, and David De Gea has exceeded them all, in my opinion. He's been one of the world's best for a very long time, arguably still the world's best goalkeeper today. There's been people that have been knocking him off his pedestal in recent years, and even in his worst form, he's still a very good goalkeeper. So I have to give him the all-time Manchester United best goalkeeper at the moment. Yes, there are going to be more. Let me know what you guys think. It's a recent player. He's the one that I've grown up on. He's the one that I really like the most, and he's the one, for me, that's the heart and soul of Manchester United. It's a shame he's not the captain, to be honest, because the guy's been here for so long. Through thick and thin, he has been here. So I really appreciate David De Gea, and that's why he gets into my all-time starting 11. Next up, the right-back position. Now, to be fair, there are some decent right-backs, but I wouldn't say any of them have been necessarily the world-class right-back that we have in nearly every position. I feel like if you had to name a position that would be the weakest position on the team, I think right back would be it. We have had the likes of Gary Neville, who's been very good, Raphael, who did a job for us. I'm going to go with Dennis Irwin here. Now, I know what people are saying. He's not a right back. He isn't a right back. He's a left back, but he is right-footed. And I feel like he has played right back in many positions before. And again, this is a player that I don't know too much about, but everybody that talks about him talks so highly that it's absolutely it's pretty weird to say, and I don't know much about him. I don't think even at the time people thought he was as good as he is, but I just see when I see him play, he looks a really good player, and it's a shame that he's a left back, but I'm going to put him right back because there's not many right backs out there that probably would have been better than him. If not him, I would go Gary Neville. So that's my 2 cents on the position. If it wasn't Dennis Irwin, if you don't count Dennis Irwin as a right back, then I'd put Gary Neville. I like Raphael. I don't think Raphael is anywhere near one of the world's best right backs. when he played for Manchester United and after that. So I think Gary Neville has to be the choice after that. But either way, I'm still going with Irwin. Let me know what you guys think about that. It's a difficult decision. Of course it's a difficult decision, but that's the one. That's the position. And I can honestly say, because I did make a video about this and I decided to redo it because it is a very difficult decision. I honestly think Wan-Bissaka can definitely be that right back, that world-class right back that could make the all-time Manchester United team in the future. That's the potential this guy has. I truly believe that. His defense is unlike anything I've ever seen before, and all he needs to do now is just fix up the attacking side of his game, which he's doing very, very well at the moment. He's only 20, 21 years old. He can get better at that. He can get his crosses on. He can get into the box more, do what a right back should be doing for Manchester United. He's getting one step closer every time. He's getting to that stage where you kind of feel like he's going to be that world-class player. Hopefully people can see that, and I definitely can have that faith in him. So hopefully that's what I'm going to go with in the future. But for now, I just don't think he's at that caliber now. I did actually say him in my other video, but it's just not right, is it? I know people laughed at me when I showed them. It's not right. But I think he has that potential, so I have to stick by him as well. Into the centre-back positions, again, recent players, players that played only maybe a few years ago, really. Rio Ferdinand and Nemanja Vidic. Now, let's start with Rio. I think Rio is one of my favourite players I've ever actually watched, and he didn't even play in my era, really. He's been one hell of a. He's like the engine. He's the guy with the speed, recovery tackles. He's a decent passer of the ball. He's a leader, and he loves his club to the moon and back. And he could tell. And when he gets into an important victory, celebrations, everything. I love Rio Ferdinand, and I hope that in due time he could be involved in Manchester United in some way. But for now, we'll talk about him as a player. I think he's one of the perfect centre-backs in this era. If you could pull prime Rio Ferdinand in this era, I think he'd be a perfect centre-back for any team. He'd be one of the world's best, as he is considered one of the world's best now. So Rio Ferdinand definitely has to be an all-time Manchester United starting 11 for me. I know there has been many. We've been gifted with a lot of good centre-backs as well in the past. And but Rio Ferdinand stands out to me, and so do his partner Vidic. These two, for years, have taken over the defense of the world. These two were considered the best partnership in the world. These two won Champions League, they won Premier Leagues together, and they fit each other so well. Their chemistry together is very, very unique and very special. So Nemanja Vidic, he's the type of player that he would kill you for the ball. He would kill anybody for the ball. And when he goes for that ball, if you're in his way, you're probably going to be sidelined for 3 months. That's the type of player he was. He ain't stopping for anybody. That ball is his, and it's going to remain his. His positioning as well was fantastic. He often wins a lot of headers because he wants the ball so much. Rio and Nemanja Vidic together with the partnership was insane, and that's why I consider them both to be one of the best centre-backs in the world. Both of them together make them stronger as well. So these two for me are definitely in my all-time starting 11. I couldn't pick one without picking the other. As much as I tried, I just couldn't do it. They're just so well, they work too well together, and I think that they're definitely on par with with the best. They're definitely the best that Manchester United could ever have. So yeah, good stuff from both of them. Left back, now again, people would say Dennis Irwin, but I've already mentioned him, so I'm going with Patrice Evra. Now, I know Patrice Evra didn't necessarily start his career left back, but I think at Manchester United he was a left back, and he was probably the perfect left back if you think about it, making runs into the box. He was decent at defending. He was very quick as well, so even if he did get beat, he could recover very well. Patrice Evra, he's had difficulties in his career, but he went in Manchester United. He really, with a bad start, he really ended up excelling and becoming a fan favourite. He was definitely a fan favourite, and even now, Manchester United fans absolutely love this guy. And his attitude is basically on another level. He has a perfect attitude in life. So it's Patrice Evra. I think is a no-brainer. I think Patrice Evra has been one of the greatest left backs we've ever had the gift of seeing at Manchester United. And at a time where we have good left backs now, are they ever going to get to Patrice Evra level? That's a question that would have to be answered over the next few years. Because Patrice Evra was different gravy to these guys, but he's truly a one-of-a-kind type of personality as well. Now, this formation is going to be a 4-4-2, so left mids and 2 centre mids and a right mid. That's where Manchester United were at their best. And if you're going to go for an all-time team, you have to go for an all-time formation, and that's the formation that I would like to use in particular. Now, going into the left mid, you have to go Ryan Giggs. Now, I know you can put Ryan Giggs on the right or the left, it doesn't matter, you can pick. Ryan Giggs makes a Manchester United team. This guy, from 17 to nearly 38, 40 years old, however old he was, he played for one team, and it was Manchester United. And not only that, he was good in every single year. He's had issues off the court, off the pitch as well, and we've seen that he's made very bad decisions in life. But on the field, you can't ask for a better player than Ryan Giggs. A very special talent, often inconsistent as well. You have to give him some slack. He was a little bit inconsistent, but there was one thing in common with Manchester United and success, and Ryan Giggs was part of all of Manchester United's success in the Premier League era. And there's something that you can't write out of history. Ryan Giggs is that player. You can never write him out of Manchester United history. He's always involved in some way, whether it's being a player, a manager, or even a pundit now. He's been part of Manchester United since he was 17 years old, and he's excelled. This is why I like Marcus Rashford so much as well, because that could be the potential that he has since he was 16, Marcus Rashford, when he joined, or 17 when he joined the first team, until now. He could be that player similar to a Ryan Giggs, being world-class his entire career. And that's the potential that Marcus Rashford has, and we've seen that Ryan Giggs can make it work, and make it work to perfection. So Ryan Giggs for me instantly makes the team. I didn't even have to think about it. I know there are probably better players overall, like Beckham, you could put in there, but for me, I think Ryan Giggs is a shoo-in. It has to be Ryan Giggs. Going into the centre mids, there's going to be a defensive centre mid and an attacking centre mid. So we'll start with the defensive centre mid. I'm going to put Roy Keane. Roy Keane was a leader beyond leaders, and I think his leadership style at the time was special in its own right. He was a fantastic leader for the players. He brought grit and determination that made opponents fear him, and even made some teammates fear him. And that fear of playing good gave everybody a boost, because they didn't want to piss Roy Keane off, because he was aggressive, he was ruthless, he wasn't afraid to speak his mind. Roy Keane was that player that if you looked at him and you looked at him wrong, then you would be scared, and he would make you scared. He would make you crumble. And as a player, you always want a player like Roy Keane, a guy that speaks with his emotion, a guy that he's doing his best for the team. You can tell he gives it his all every day. Every single day he was at Manchester United, he gave his all. He tried to lead a team differently. He was so angry. He was so gritty. This meant so much to him, and it gave everybody a boost. Yes, not everybody can work with a player like Roy Keane, especially nowadays. Nowadays, if Roy Keane was a captain, I feel like he would either have to adapt to himself, which just wouldn't be the right thing to do, or you'd have to join a certain team. And Manchester United is a team like that, where you need characters in this team. He was one of the best characters we've ever seen. Roy Keane, and obviously on the pitch, he was sensational. One of the best midfielders we've ever had the gift of seeing, ever had the privilege to see. And I don't know, that one game against Juventus in the Champions League said it all to me. Like, that guy is just different. He's different to anybody we've ever seen. So Roy Keane, shoo-in. No, didn't even have to think about it. This next one, I didn't really have to think about either. Paul Scholes. Now, if you have one of the best players in the world in Ronaldo talking about how great Paul Scholes was, then you don't even have to look to know that this guy was sensational. But being a Manchester United fan, I've looked. This guy can hit a volley from anywhere. He can hit a pass from anywhere. He's the guy where, there's been games where he hasn't been the greatest. Some pretty poor tackles, yellow cards that were not really needed. But when he was on the pitch, you could tell all it took was one click and magic can happen from his feet. It's incredible to see some of the goals he's scored and the passes he's made. Definitely a technician, definitely a tactical genius in a way, and that's why when you put Roy Keane and Paul Scholes together, no one's stopping that midfield. No one is stopping those two running havoc on both sides of the pitch. And you have to give credit because Roy Keane helped in the attack and Scholes helped in the defence as well. These two were very hard-working players, and they worked till they couldn't work anymore to make sure Manchester United would win every game. And that's why these two would work extremely well together. And they're obviously the best in that position. Midfielder-wise, we've had very good midfielders, but at the end of the day, these two clearly stand out to me. I don't think there's anybody that you could say that has been better than Roy Keane and Paul Scholes, especially if you put them together, because the way that they run that midfield, you put them against the prime Liverpool team of today, and that midfield will get dominated. I truly believe that. And as good as Liverpool are, Roy Keane, Paul Scholes, you put them in the team together, they'll run through everybody, especially in this day. I truly believe that, 100%, no doubt in my mind. Now going into the right mid position, I have to put the greatest player to play the game of football, in my opinion, Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, I know a lot of his success mainly came from Madrid, mainly came from Spain and Italy, or not necessarily Italy, but just Spain, but he had success in Italy as well. But he brought a lot to Manchester United. We gave this guy a chance from Sporting, and he never looked back. He came in his first game, he impressed, and then he impressed every year, and it was for some reason he was just the best in the world. He was being compared to Messi before he even went to Madrid, and then I think the Champions League really set things off for me that this guy is the greatest. This guy is the greatest of all time, and he played for Manchester United. Now, I know we could be greedy and saying, of course he played for Manchester United, but if you just think about it, Cristiano Ronaldo, one of the best players of all time, one of the most well-known, if not the most well-known player of all time, played for our team. And not only that, he gave a lot of his life to our team. He still respects our team. He thinks our fans are the best in the world. He said that from his mouth. He loves the Manchester United fans. We treat him like a king here, and there's a reason for that, because he came here and he provided. We have songs about him. We still sing about him. No matter where we are in the world, we all know that the one thing's for certain is that Cristiano Ronaldo is a legend here, and he deserves to be in an all-time starting 11. I wish he played his entire career here, but nevertheless, the amount that he did in a period of time that we see here was world-class, the best you could ever ask for. So that's the right mid position. The two strikers. Now, modern day tells me I'm picking Wayne Rooney. Wayne Rooney is my favourite Manchester United player of all time. When I first started going into football, this story I haven't really told many people, but I only went for Manchester because my family, one of my family members was born in Manchester. So it was either going to be Man City or Manchester United. But what drew me to Manchester United was Wayne Rooney. He was just a character. At the time, he was world class. He was one of the best strikers in the world. And despite him maybe being on a decline at the time, in around 2014-ish, something led me towards Wayne Rooney. How good he was at finding the goals, picking a pass, even sometimes putting in a tackle. Wayne Rooney did it all for Manchester United. He played so many positions. He gave everything since he was 17 years old. He joined in 2004 from Everton, and he pretty much since then he was a first team player. And he scored a hat-trick on his debut. He's created so many history-making moments for Manchester United. Plus, he has the all-time goal-scoring record. I know that many people consider that overrated, and he wasn't the best because of how long he was there. But guys, come on, let's be real here. If someone has the all-time goal-scoring record, especially in recent history, how could you not put them in your all-time starting 11? That's the way I see it. And then going in to the next striker position, there's so many to pick from. I think strikers is the area where we've had so much success. If I had to pick myself, and I'm not going to pick this guy, I'd pick Van Persie, because just, again, that was the team that I love so much. I'm going to pick Cantona. I don't think that Cantona was necessarily just a striker, and for many people he probably wasn't a striker, but I'm picking Cantona because how could you not have King Cantona in your team? How could you not have King Cantona in your team? Again, a character at Manchester United, a great character. From start to finish at Manchester United, he was world class. He was quality. He took the penalties. He did everything. I saw pretty much all of his goals from highlights, and they're so special. They're unique. He is one of the best players I think we've ever had, and he's probably one of the best number 7, bar Ronaldo or possibly Beckham. Even you could compare them to the two. He's been fantastic. He was a fantastic player, and still till this day, he's a character. And his kids are growing up, training, loving Manchester United. We're gonna have Cantona be a world-class player. He has to make the all-time team for me. He's definitely in my all-time team, and that's it. That's all the positions that have been mentioned. All the positions have been filled. Let me know what you guys think about that. I want to thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new, and please like and subscribe if you agree with my Manchester United all-time starting 11. Let me know if you do anything differently in the comments. Let's have a discussion. There's a lot of people who have different opinions. Manchester United have so many great players. I've probably missed something obvious, but at the same time, these are my favourite players, and these are the players that I feel like if we put them all in the team, they would probably be becoming the Invincibles. You know, they would win every game. I don't think they would lose a game. But yet again, we're looking back at this. I know recent football has been very up and down for Manchester United, but if you look at our past, we should be very grateful and hopeful that we can get back to that, because Manchester United has never had a period of success until now, and it just makes me believe that they don't want to be here for long. And hopefully we make the right moves to get back to where we need to be, get back to that dominant figure, get back to that fear, the fear factor. Every time you verse Manchester United, you're fearful because you know you've got 11 world-class players on that pitch, and they are going to run through you. And hopefully we can get back to that stage. But looking back at it, I'm very, very grateful. And honestly, it makes me really proud to be a Manchester United fan. Through thick and thin, Manchester United till I die is not just a phrase for me. I started watching at the worst of times. I started watching a David Moyes. So if it's like the saying goes, if you don't love them at your worst, don't love them at your best. And I truly believe that's the saying. So I'm going to love them now, and then I'm going to love them when they succeed, and I'm going to enjoy every second and every moment, and the success will come. Anyway, again, this is the Sports Code. Have a safe and wonderful day. Take care.